So this isn't something that the Israelis aren't used to, but we haven't seen it to this scale before, have we?
Iran
is not a rival to Saudi Arabia. Its army is not among the top 5 armies in the Muslim world. The Saudi economy is larger than the Iranian economy. Iran is far from being equal to Saudi Arabia.
But I've seen that you called the Ayatollah Khamenei the new Hitler of the Middle East.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because he wants to expand. He wants to create his own project in the Middle East, very much like Hitler, who wanted to expand at the time. Many countries around the world and in Europe did not realize how dangerous Hitler was until what happened. I don't want to see the same events happening in the Middle East.
Does Saudi Arabia need nuclear weapons to counter Iran?
Saudi Arabia does not want to acquire any nuclear bomb. But without a doubt, if Iran developed a nuclear bomb, we will follow suit as soon as possible.
An Iranian missile has just made impact in Israel's city of Haifa. These are the latest scenes there. Those are the latest scenes that you've just seen coming out of Israel. Iran's armed forces have warned Israelis to leave the vicinity of, quote, vital areas. That's according to state television. There's been projectiles in the skies of Tel Aviv.
What you can hear right now are the sirens that are blaring, which means that there are these sirens that go out that alert the Israeli public that ballistic missiles from Iran are heading in this direction. We are starting to see some flashes in the sky. I believe you can see that on our screens as well. And you can see up overhead some of the flashing lights that we can see, and the interceptors, the air defenses are doing their job. I'm just going to put some body armor on, I think, but you can see above the skies of Jerusalem the ballistic missiles and the interceptors responding.
But there's been nothing on this scale. The war in Gaza, Israelis are conscious of it, but have not really been inconvenienced by it or troubled by it. But this is something totally different. This is directly affecting the day-to-day lives of Israelis. As an indication, Ben Gurion Airport closed for at least 3 days, possibly indefinitely, Israel's main airport. Well, that's unprecedented, certainly in the last 30 or 40, maybe 50 years. So the fact that travel to Israelis' airport has been disrupted to that extent gives you an indication of the disruption to Israeli life. That said, the government has said that today in Israel was a normal working day. The stock market was actually slightly up as the Israelis try to keep the economy as open as possible.
The Israelis are going after military and nuclear sites. The Iranians are firing ballistic missiles toward Israeli civilians.
Israel is bracing for more retaliation. Israeli airlines are moving their planes out of the country one by one, empty of passengers.
I also want to show you this pictures that we've got coming in from flight radar data, and of course there you can see essentially a picture of the Middle East airspace closed, not just Israel taking the decision, but as you can see there on the map, Iran, Iraq, Jordan and countries in the area where there are no flights currently operating amid this situation.
It looks like Iran has resumed firing missiles again this evening. There have, as you've mentioned, already been hits on Israeli territory. We haven't seen anything going over here in Amman, but that doesn't. It's just over where we're standing. But the missiles can, of course, take other routes. But for now, we just know that those targets have been hit in Haifa, and as you've been reporting, Tel Aviv.
Yeah, of course, those missiles, usually you see them in passing through other countries before they do arrive in Israel. And Bernard, of course, this was expected, as you mentioned, because both sides have said that they will continue. Now, what do we know in terms of what the leadership has been saying in Israel? Have we been hearing from them at all in the last hour or so?
Well, we haven't heard from them in Israel just very recently. We know that Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, he's given an interview to the American cable network Fox News, and in that interview he's said that regime change in Iran could be the result of Israel's attack. The Israeli military says officially that our goal is to remove the capabilities of this regime to annihilate us. The goal is not regime change. I guess the difference there is, while the military says the goal is not regime change, Netanyahu saying it could happen as a result of what we're doing. Netanyahu was also asked to comment on a Reuters report that Donald Trump had vetoed Netanyahu's plans to kill Iran's supreme leader in those first wave of attacks. Netanyahu said, I'm not going to go there at the moment. We know that Israel had clearly compromised at some level Iran's intelligence services because they were able to identify and knew where significant figures in the military and the scientific community lived. Also, an interesting intelligence line out of Israel as well. They've arrested 2 Jewish Israelis on suspicion of working for Iranian intelligence services. We don't often hear about that.
And I think it's not just our test. You know, Churchill talked about the slumber of democracies. He said that democracies tend to sleep until the jarring gong of danger wakes them up. Well, sometimes it might not wake them up. Certainly, we didn't need a wake-up gong. I've been talking about the Iranian threat for 40 years. 3 years, I think, 4 years after the Iranian regime, the Ayatollah regime, hijacked Iran and the people of Iran. I said the greatest threat facing Israel and potentially the world is this regime that will try to arm itself with nuclear weapons.
It's part of a contingency plan to avoid being targeted in an unexpected Iranian attack. Some of Israel's major fleets, including El Al and Arica Airlines, have declined to say where the planes are headed. But a number of aircraft have landed in Larnaca International Airport in Cyprus. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's official plane has also left the country. What's known as the Wing of Zion was spotted in Athens. Israel's ambassador to Greece, Naum Katz, is believed to have been the sole passenger on board. As Israel's largest airport, Ben Gurion, remains deserted, many Israelis stuck inside and outside the country fear uncertainty of the days to come. Many global airlines have halted flights to and from Tel Aviv. With Iran and Israel vowing to maintain attacks, it's likely many fleets will stay away from Israel for the foreseeable future.
I think that I have a different conception, a different future. And it was embarked on with the help of President Trump and his leadership in the Abraham Accords, where we signed peace treaties with 4 Arab states, expanding the peace, something that wasn't done for a quarter of a century. And I believe that we'll have opportunities to expand the peace as well with other of the Arab states next to us. I think they understand that Iran is a mortal threat to them as well. They have their eyes on their oil facilities. They want the waterways with the Houthis. They want to conquer the Middle East. And the one obstacle they've had so far is the state of Israel, because we're the ones fighting Iranians. And the other obstacle they have is President Trump. And I think, I'll tell you, they think that President Trump is an enormous obstacle. They think that Israel is a very big obstacle. And they're out to get us both. In fact, they tried to kill me too. They fired a missile into my bedroom window. They missed.
Wow. The Saudi Crown Prince, as you remember, in September of 23, told me he was getting closer every day to recognizing Israel and normalization. The very next day, you repeated that to me. Take a listen.
Reports that you had suspended talks.
No, that's not true.
Not true. So you think, if you were to characterize it, are you close?
Every day we get closer.
I know you heard those words from the Saudi Crown Prince. What was your response?
Well, I was delighted to hear what he had to say, and to borrow a phrase, I think we're getting closer to peace every day that passes.